Hey, Year 12, let's have a look at stanza 3. You tossed a blanket from the bed, you lay upon your back and waited, you dozed and watched the night revealing the thousand sordid images of which your soul was constituted. They flickered against the ceiling, and when all the world came back and the light crept up between the shutters and you heard the sparrows in the gutters, you had such a vision of the street as the street hardly understands. Sitting along the bed's edge where you curled the papers from your hair or clasped the yellow soles of feet in the palms of both soiled hands. Notice there, first off, because you'll see it highlighted in the green, that the or clasped. You curled the papers from your hair or clasped the yellow soles of feet. There's a dichotomy between spirituality and superficiality that's happening there. And then we get this sense of a prayer that's destroyed by soiled hands. This merging of the Eastern and Western religions as well, possibly there. But let's go back to the top and have a look at the stanza in whole. So the third stanza is actually a bit different to the preceding two. It changes in place, time, and persona. We zoom in on one of the 1,000 furnished rooms. We have this verb toss. It implies a careless throwing, and the implication is it's a day covering of the bed, and so we're now shifting back into night. The second stanza tells us that a change in time is in a persona's consciousness, and so maybe the blanket could be seen as a metaphorical tossing away of a layer of consciousness to see what lays behind, so to see the subconscious. The stanza switches from the present tense to past tense as well. The past two stanzas were in simple present tense to show the recurrent daily routine, and now we have this shift into past tense, which suggests that this is a memory of a particular moment. And I think that's really important when you start looking at Rhapsody as well, and the notion of memory that comes through there. We also have this direct address of someone, you. You tossed, you lay, you dozed. And also your soul is in there as well. But who is it? You curled the paper from your hair suggests that it's female. And Jane, another critic, suggests that it's a split personality. The critic Germa suggests it is a prostitute drawn for Babou de Montparnasse, which is also, I don't know if I pronounced that right, sorry, Year 12, it's late at night, and as we know, I don't speak French. But we know that Eliot read the book, and that is being used ironically because the streetwalker, the prostitute, the streetwalker, lays upon the back and waits. Waits for what? Waits for who? Sleep? The next customer? The next morning? Another person? There's a lot of ambiguity going on here. And doze. Doze is an interesting idea. It's not fully asleep, nor is it awake. And then the flickered. It's a connotation of a light flickering on and off. It's not light, it's not dark. Again, can this relate back to the lighting of the lamps and perhaps light pollution in the city? The second suggests images from outside being shone on the ceiling as well. It's like we're watching some dirty film, and that could also be the emotions or thoughts flickering. And then we have these 1,000 sordid images. Sordid is dirty. Is it sins, sexual thoughts, promiscuity? Does this confirm she's a prostitute? As we said in class, is watching a porn. Like, it's an interesting idea of what are these 1,000 sordid images. But if you ever noticed when you yourself, if you've got a window in your bedroom and you're lying on the bed and the lights are flickering from outside, you get the images from outside cast as shadows across the ceiling. So it could very well be a reflection of what's happening outside. Then you get ideas of Plato's cave there as well. And we also have with this that it's another world to watch her thoughts. And when the world came back, suggests that there's two worlds or realities, and it makes the physical and the spiritual worlds distinct from each other. We then get this idea that the night belongs to the subconscious. The light crept up between the shutters. So both the start of the new morning and a metaphorical enlightenment that is coming through, perhaps. And she hears the sparrows. Again, like other things happening where we had the smell of the faint stale smell of beer, the smell of steaks in the passageways, we don't see the sparrows. Like we don't see the steak, we don't see the beer. We just hear the sparrows. So it's again this fragmentation of what is real. We're not getting the whole picture. Notice also the use of the verb understands. It could be see, which contributes to the personification of the street. The street is a metonym for the people walking on it. And again, the people become part of the larger whole, and once more identity is lost. And then the woman sees the street in a fresh perspective that no other person does. And then you have to ask, does it give her a position of power? And then what do you make of her posture at the end? Is she in the lotus position? Is she meditating? Is this part of her heightened view of the street, as meditation is spiritual and lifts perspective? If she's a prostitute, the irony is that she is the streetwalker who has found enlightenment and a higher path. Or is it, as we said before, a blending between Eastern religion and Western religion? But we have to ask, who is she? Who is this ambiguous woman? And does it link to the woman in Rhapsody? Remark that woman who hesitates towards you, and like the light of the door that opens up on her like a grin. Is she one of the women of Prufrock? Is she the one that he wants to ask the overwhelming question to? There's a lot of ambiguity about the women in here. And if it is this lotus position, is it a lotus position? Is it a moment of spirituality? Note the play on the words soiled and then soil, soul and soles of feet. The soul was constituted. The purity of it, is it pure? Does the soul exist? Has it been dehumanized? Is the morality of the soul, because it's the thousand-sworded images of which the soul was constituted, has it lost this moment of, has it lost its morality? Is it as dingy as the shades now? And yet the yellow soles of feet down here, again, that yellowness and the soiled, and that's this dirty imagery. And think back to the repetition of the yellow as imagery in Prufrock, and the yellow smoke and the yellow fog cat, the yellow pollution. And so these soles of feet plays, so the base of the foot is dirty, and it plays with the word soul, up with of which your soul was constituted. And then they're held in the palms of both soiled hands. So it's like it's a prayer. Held in the palms of the hands is like a prayer. But that prayer has been destroyed by the soiled hands. Okay, we're going to pause it there and then start the next video.